Welcome to downtown Pittsburg, Kansas, a city built on hard work, resilience, and community spirit. Founded in 1876 as a coal mining camp, Pittsburg quickly grew into one of the most important industrial centers in southeast Kansas. Immigrants from around the world, including Italians, Slovenians, Croatians, and many others, came here seeking opportunity in the coal mines and rail yards. They brought with them a rich cultural diversity that still defines the community today. As we walk through the downtown area, we'll see traces of that vibrant history all around us. The streets beneath our feet date back more than a century, once traveled by horse-drawn carriages, trolleys, and bustling miners heading to work. Many of the historic buildings we'll pass by were built in the late 1800s and early 1900s when Pittsburgh's economy flourished with coal, glass manufacturing, and later with the establishment of Pittsburg State University higher education. Along this tour, we'll explore landmarks that tell the story of Pittsburgh's evolution from its rough and tumble mining roots to a thriving small city shaped by industry, innovation, and pride. The first stop on our tour is one of downtown Pittsburgh's standout landmarks, the former National Bank of Commerce building constructed in 1909. This four-story brick building has seen over a century of local history and change, but most longtime residents remember it best as the home of Crowell's Drug Store, which served the community for more than 100 years. Built in 1919, the Colonial Fox Theater has long been at the heart of Pittsburgh's entertainment scene. This Italian Renaissance revival design immediately set it apart from other theaters in the downtown area, giving it a sense of elegance and grandeur that still captures attention today. Standing here at the corner of Broadway, we're looking at a piece of Pittsburgh's early financial history, the First State Bank of Pittsburgh. The bank was founded by James N. Patmore and his son Jay back in 1903, and it officially opened its doors in January of 1904. In 1917, the Patmores gave the bank a major facelift. They remodeled and combined two buildings with this striking Beaux Arts and classical revival facade, creating the impressive structure that we see today. Inside, the first section contained the teller cages and banking rooms, while the back held a massive 10-ton vault door made by the York Safe and Lock Company. That door operated with 24 locking bolts, each nearly a foot wide. It was one of the most secure vaults in the region. The bank even offered 7,000 safe deposit boxes plus larger storage lockers in the basement for customers who needed extra space. If you take a look at this impressive building here, we're standing in front of one of Pittsburgh's most unique landmarks, the Mirza Shrine Center. The Shriners have been part of Pittsburgh's story for well over a century. The local chapter, known as Mirza Shriners, was founded back in 1903, and by the early 1920s, they were ready to build something big, a true temple to match their growing presence in the community. Construction on the grand building began around 1923, and by 1925, the Mirza Shrine Temple was complete. It was designed in the ornate style typical of early 20th century fraternal halls with bold brickwork, stone trim, and a scale that really stood out in downtown Pittsburgh. As we stroll along Pine Street, we're pausing at this beautiful stone church with its tall street steeple reaching towards the sky. This is the Presbyterian Church of Pittsburgh, a place with deep roots in the community and a rich history. The story of this congregation begins in 1879 with the founding of the First United Presbyterian Church, and just a year later in 1880, another group formed the United Presbyterian Church. Despite sharing the same denomination, these two churches had distinct identities and traditions. In 1986, after years of separate existence, these two congregations decided to unite, forming the Presbyterian Church of Pittsburgh. As we walk by the intersection of North Pine and West 6th Street, we notice these distinct stone arches standing proudly here at the corner. These arches are all that remain of the original Masonic Temple, a landmark that once defined this part of downtown Pittsburgh. The Masonic Temple was constructed in 1910 and served as a central gathering place for the local Masonic Lodge, holding meetings, social events, and community activities. Its grand architecture featured ornate stonework, arched windows, and a commanding presence that made it a focal point of the city. However, by the late 1990s, the building had fallen into disrepair. Recognizing its deteriorating condition and the cost of necessary repairs, the decision was made to demolish the structure in January of 1999. While the building was lost, the arches were preserved as a tribute to the Masonic Temple's legacy. Take a look at this impressive four-story red brick building. This was once the Hotel Stillwell, a true cornerstone of downtown Pittsburgh history. Construction began in 1889 and it opened its doors in 1890 and is named after its principal financier, Arthur E. Stillwell from Kansas City. Stillwell was a busy man involved in banking, housing development, and even the Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Gulf Railroad. So it's no surprise his hotel quickly became a hub for travelers and locals alike. The hotel was opulent for its time with over 100 guest rooms, first-floor offices, and commercial spaces built of beautiful Carthage stone trim around the exterior. That red brick, well, it came from a local bricks works just south of Pittsburgh, giving the building a true hometown touch. The Stillwell wasn't, though, just a place to sleep. It was a center of social life and business in town at the time. In fact, during a period of tense labor disputes in the 1920s, Kansas Governor Henry J. Allen actually set up his office on the third floor for 3 weeks to be close to the action. Other tenants would include such things as saloons, barbershops, coal companies, cigar stands, and the Smith & Miller Real Estate Company. The hotel remained a bustling hub for decades, finally closing in 1975, but it didn't stay empty for long. A rehabilitation converted the building into low-income and senior housing. As we approach the intersection of 9th and Elm Streets, we'll notice this striking Gothic Revival architecture, which is Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church. This historic parish has been a cornerstone of Pittsburgh's spiritual and community life for well over a century. The roots of the Catholic community in Pittsburgh trace back to 1882 when Father Eugenio Bonazzini purchased 2 lots on Mill Street for about $650, marking the beginning of the parish's establishment. Initially, services were held in the Oddfellows Hall, which was located around 6th and Local Street, as the community gathered for worship and fellowship. In 1916, the parish was officially established and plans were set in motion to construct a church and school. Within 2 years, the cornerstone was laid for what is now St. Bernadette Hall but in the fall of 1918, a flu epidemic forced the suspension of all public masses. The suspension was lifted in December of 1918, and 3 days later, the new church was dedicated. The sermon was preached in Polish, Slavic, and English, reflecting the diverse heritage of the congregation. In 1923, construction of Our Lady of Lourdes School began right over top of what is now St. Bernadette Hall. In 1941, land for a cemetery was purchased on Joffre Bulger Road. Although the school building had been completed in 1924, the parish would not be yet ready to open the school until 1942. In 1954, the construction of the rectory was completed. In December of 1955, the parish broke ground on a new church, the church that we see today, that was dedicated in 1957 on February 11th, the feast day of Our Lady of Lourdes. The church's interior is adorned with beautiful murals, stencils, and patterns that reflect its Gothic-style architecture. Take a look at this striking 12-story building. This is the Besse Hotel, one of Pittsburgh's architectural gems. Built in 1926, it was financed by Alexander Besse, a local businessman who immigrated from France, and it proudly carried his name. The hotel was designed by architects W.T. Schmidt and Hawk and Pear from Oklahoma City, who gave it a classic three-part structure with touches of late Gothic Revival ornamentation. For its time, the Besse Hotel was state-of-the-art. The building was fireproof, made of reinforced concrete, and 125 of its original 150 rooms even had private baths, a real luxury in the 1920s. Inside, guests could enjoy the Arabian dining room, a coffee shop, and a spacious banquet hall. And the rates, well, pretty affordable by today's standards. Rooms with running water went for about $1.50 a day. Rooms with showers were $2, and those with a tub bath ranged from about $2.50 to $3. At the time, Pittsburgh had several large hotels, including the Stillwell Hotel that we saw earlier and the Hotel Wick. For comparison, the Hotel Wick offered modern European rooms, 41 rooms with baths for about $2 a night, and 33 rooms with about $1.25 per day. But the Besse stood out for its height, amenities, and modern conveniences, making it a true landmark in the city skyline. We now step into our final stop on our tour, which is this peaceful green space called Immigrant Park, a place that honors the hard work and determination of the many immigrants who helped build Pittsburgh. This isn't just a park, though. It's a living memorial to the thousands of men and women, especially from Italy, Poland, and Eastern Europe, who came to work in the coal mines here in the early 1900s. Their labor fueled the growth of the city and the region, and this park helps us remember their contributions. As we look around, we see a bronze statue of a coal miner, and that figure represents all the miners who worked long, dangerous hours underground. Scattered throughout the park are black granite monuments with the names of miners, some marked with a star to honor those who lost their lives in mining accidents. Immigrant Park is more than just a green space. It's a place to pause, reflect, and appreciate the people who helped shape this community. As we conclude our journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the rich tapestry of history we've uncovered today. From the architectural grandeur of the Besse Hotel to the poignant tributes here at Immigrant Park, we've explored the story of those who built this community with their hands, hearts, and hopes. Pittsburgh's downtown is more, though, than just a collection of buildings. It's a living testament to the resilience and spirit of its people. If you're further interested in delving further into Pittsburgh's history, take a look in the description and you'll see a visit to the Crawford County Historical Museum that I did that gives us a better understanding of the history of this region. Also, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button as we continue to explore, learn, and connect more with our communities here across the nation. Take care now. Bye-bye.